Hi, I'm Nick Davies, from co-founder of Lucid Games, and we're at Gamescom talking about Geometry Wars Dimensions.
So for those who don't remember, give us a sense of the history of Geometry Wars.
So Geometry Wars is one of the first Xbox 360 downloadable games. It's a twin-stick shooter. It's a crazy, intense, over-the-top shooting experience. Very popular back sort of 6-7 years ago. It was developed by Bizarre Creations, which is a company I used to work for. So now we're at Lucid Games. We're reimagining Geometry Wars as Geometry Wars Dimensions, bringing it to a whole new audience.
So talk a little about your goals heading into this game.
Well, the goals really were to kind of produce a true sequel to Geometry Wars Retro Evolved 2. We didn't just want to make a few more levels and a few extra game modes. We wanted to do something that really was worthy of being a new entrant in the Geometry Wars franchise. So we've really thought about what would make it different, ideas that the guys have had over the last sort of 6-7 years about how they'd like to improve and take Geometry Wars forward. So we've got a number of unique gameplay experiences in this version that we're showing here at Gamescom. And we're hoping that the fans from the past and the new fans will really appreciate what we've done with it.
Can you talk about some of those new gameplay?
Yeah, cool. So there's kind of 2 or 3 main gameplay items here. The first one is we're not just on 2D planes now, it's become a 3D experience. We've got a whole host of 3D shapes. We've got spheres you can play on, cubes, we've got cylinders, so it's a whole new kind of visual and dynamic look to the game. We've also got a more expanded single player experience. There's now like 50 levels you can play, whereas previously there were like maybe 5 or 6 that the player would encounter. And also we've got online competitive play for the first time ever, and the local co-op play for 4 players to play with their friends.
This game will also be coming out on next gen. What are you guys utilizing to push forward on those consoles?
Yeah, well, it's coming out on a variety of platforms. We've got Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS3, PS4 and PC, so it's quite a lot of platforms there. We're really kind of pushing, there's a lot of effects, a lot of post-processing, a lot of enemies on screen at once that having the power of the next-gen consoles really allows us to kind of push that to its limits. But it still retains that fluid 60 frames a second gameplay and that proper true Geometry Wars experience that people would expect to see.
What are your thoughts on the whole revival of the Sierra brand?
It's really exciting for us. Obviously, they're really interested in passionate indie companies, and we, I guess, class ourselves as one of those passionate indie companies. And they really want to take games that developers have really got an invested history with. So we've got a history of Geometry Wars as of Sierra, so they really want us to kind of build on that past relationship and bring our passion and our real belief in the franchise so we can move it forward to a whole new generation of gamers.
How big is your team that you're working on?
The team's around 20, which is bigger than previous iterations of the game, but we are obviously on like 4 or 5 more platforms than previous, so there's a lot of technical groundwork to be done there. So it's a small to medium-sized team, very focused, very passionate, and very agile.
What impact has fan feedback from earlier games played in this one?
Well, obviously, Geometry Wars fans are very passionate. You can go on Facebook, Twitter now, look on internet forums, still see players getting high scores and competing with their friends. So we read a lot about what players like, what they expect. We're getting a lot of feedback here from Gamescom from people who are big fans of Geometry Wars. And we're still, relatively early stage. We are out later this year, but we're only at kind of like an alpha stage now. So there's still time for some of that feedback to be brought into the game. But we're just really getting a sense of the passion that the players have got, and they really want to get their hands on it. And this is not a hands-on demo here, so there's a lot of twitchy fingers and people really wanting to get in there and give it a go.